Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Marie Wilson stars in an episode of My Friend Irma from 73 years ago today, December 27th, 1948, and you know Jimmy in Boston, the president of the Marie Wilson fan club, is just tickled to death on this Sunday, 27th day of September, 361st day of 2021, 4 days left until the big ball drops on Ryan Seacrest's head in Times Square. Charles Darwin embarks on his journey aboard the HMS Beagle on this date in 1831, where he will formulate the theory of evolution. Ether used for childbirth for the first time on this date in 1845. James Barrie's play Peter Pan premiered in London in 1904, and in 1927 Leon Trotsky expelled from the Communist Party. Radio City Music Hall opened on this date in 1932. In 1945, the World Bank created with the signing of an agreement by 28 nations. And it was on this date in 1947, Howdy Doody made its debut on NBC.
Say, kids, what time is it? Howdy, kids, and howdy, Buffalo Bob. Well, howdy, Mr. Doody. And boys and girls at home and kids in the gallery, let's go.
Buffalo Bob Smith behind Howdy Doody, premiering on NBC on this date in 1947. On this date in 1968, the long-running radio program The Breakfast Club signed off for the final time on ABC Radio.
Presenting America's favorite, the NBC Breakfast Club with Don McNeil. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. We woke up bright and early just to howdy do you. Coffee down and fruits and toast, bacon and skillet. Joe Galicchio and his boys have tunes to fill it. So come on, gang, let's make a pool of this day's meeting. Line up, kids, I'll call the roll and sing your greetings. Nancy Martin.
Well, how do you do?
And Jack Baker. Glad to see you. The Vagabonds, our guests today.
So breakfast lovers, wake up and smile. It's not the morning happy, make life worthwhile. Good morning, breakfast lovers, good morning to you. We got up bright and early to howdy to you. Daddy, mama, sister, brothers, uncle, we don't care. America, alright. The breakfast love is on the air.
Good morning. No chance, please. Just good morning. It's December 8th, 1941, Monday morning. Fine day. Glad to see you around the breakfast table. Hiya, boys.
Oh, while that recording was from the day after Pearl Harbor, I can tell you that the show rolled on all the way to 1968. ABC ending the show primarily because of A, low clearances, and B, they were going to their 4-tier radio networks, where they were going to provide 4 different radio networks down their line. In 1970, Hello Dolly closed on Broadway after 2,800 performances. The Soviet Union seized control of Afghanistan, and Babrak Kemal replaced the overthrown and executed President Hamifuza Amin.
This was a terrorist attack against many nationalities, many countries. As I've said before, we're all in this together. Unfortunately, again, there were Americans killed, but there were also innocent victims of other nationalities. And as I said, we can only deplore and condemn in the strongest terms this sort of cowardly criminal act.
I do not believe, therefore, that the local commanders on the ground, men who have already suffered quite enough, should be punished for not fully comprehending the nature of today's terrorist threat. If there is to be blame, it properly rests here in this office and with this president. And I accept responsibility for the bad as well as the good.
One thing you have to say about President Reagan, he never pushed the blame off on anybody else. He took the full responsibility. Taliban forces retook the strategic Bagram Air Base on this date in 1996, which solidified their buffer zone around Kabul. How familiar does that sound? And in 2001, the People's Republic of China granted permanent normal trade relations with the U.S., a huge mistake. Passing away on this date in history, Hoagy Carmichael, fine composer, Stardust, General Norman Schwarzkopf, of the Harlem Globetrotters, Meadowlark Lemon, and Carrie Fisher, all passing away on this date. This is the birth date of scientists Louis Pasteur, Marlene Dietrich, Oscar Levant, and China, Joni Lar. Happy number 82 to John Amos. Gerald Depardieu is 73 today. Carla Bonoff, 70 today. Pro wrestler Bill Goldberg, also football player, but Goldberg just badly misused, both in the WWE and in WCW. They had a good thing going, and then they messed it up. So what else is new? Savannah Guthrie of the Today Show, 50. Country's Walker Hayes is 42. Says somebody, speaking of people whose wrestling careers were messed up in the worst possible way by WWE, a fellow that you know in the WWE is Cesaro, Claudia Castagnoli. He is 41 years of age. Paramore's Haley Williams is 33. And from Bates Motel and Vanity Fair, Olivia Cook is 28. Those are just a few of the people who celebrate the 27th day of December as their birthday. And if this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
And from 73 years ago, December 27th, 1948, Marie Wilson as My Friend Irma on this Monday, Classic Radio Theater. Thanks for tuning in on this Monday edition of Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station. I always tease Jimmy over in Boston, who listens to us on 1200 AM there, and I talk about how he is the head of the Marie Wilson fan club. Well, I can tell you that Jimmy truly enjoys classic radio, but he has a special fondness in his heart for Marie Wilson. He put together and sent to me a beautiful museum piece that pays tribute to Marie Wilson and My Friend Irma, which hangs in our studios here in beautiful Ely, Nevada, and I appreciate him for sending that. It is something that I treasure because no fan has ever given me such a wonderful gift. And I know a lot of our fans just, you love your radio, and I enjoy it, and I appreciate you. Now, we have to roll on here because I can't sit here and get sentimental and sloppy on the Monday after Christmas. Marie Wilson, My Friend Irma, from 73 years ago, December 27th, 1948.
For the safety of your smile, use Pepsodent twice a day. See your dentist twice a year. Lever Brothers Company presents the Pepsodent show, My Friend Irma, created by Cy Howard and starring Marie Wilson as Irma with Joan Banks as Jane.
Friendship, friendship, just the perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
Before we'll all be saying goodbye to 1948. Broadway will be lit up like the 4th of July, and 1 million people will be jam-packed around Times Square, armed with noisemakers and horns, waiting for midnight so they can blow their brains out. Which reminds me of my roommate, Irma Peterson. There is a girl who must have overdone it. Well, now, don't get me wrong. Irma's wonderful. She's sweet and a warm-hearted girl, and I love her. It's just that... Well, for instance, sometimes she does the oddest things, like this note she left for me.
Dear Jane, I have gone to the beauty parlor. Please come at once because I need your advice desperately. If you take a cab, tell the driver to drive carefully. I'm having a shampoo and the streets are wet.
You see what I mean? So, little Mother Stacy is wasting no time in getting down to the beauty parlor.
There you are, Miss Peterson, all finished. And I must say you look adorable with that new short bob, I must say.
Oh, thank you.
Now, about this hair that we cut off, are you sure you want to take it with you?
Yes, and please wrap it up as a gift. It's for my uncle. He doesn't have any.
Oh, I understand. Now, is there anything else?
Yes, a manicure, please.
What's the matter, Miss Peterson? You look so depressed.
Oh, I'm very unhappy. I have to make a decision, and I don't like to hurt anybody.
Excuse me, I want to get another nail file.
Oh, hello, Jane.
Hello, sweetie.
How do you like my hair?
It's adorable, honey, but your note, what's wrong?
Well, before I tell you better make an appointment for a finger wave right away.
For heaven's sakes, what for?
When you hear what I have to say, it might make your hair stand on end.
I'll keep my hat on. Now tell me, sweetie, what's wrong? Why do you look so miserable?
Well, as you know, Al and I have been keeping steady company for 5 years.
What about it?
Jane, I'm giving him up.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. I love Al, but in all those years, he has never worked and he's never looked for a job.
And he's turned down every job that was ever offered to him.
That's right. Now, I don't like to make snap judgment, but I've been thinking it over and I've come to a conclusion.
About Al?
Yes. I think he's lazy.
Bully for you, Irma Peterson. Well, now what?
Well, I'm breaking off with him. Well, Jane, you might at least say I'm doing the right thing.
Oh, honey, I don't want to say anything. Every time the two of you break up, I'm in the middle with both of you, drowning me with tears. I have to tread water to keep from going down.
But, Jane, this time I mean it.
Well, all right, Irma, then I'm all for it. Well, now, come on, sweetie. Let's get out of here and try to forget your troubles.
Okay.
Oh, what a gorgeous afternoon. Irma, let's window shop.
Oh, I don't think that's exciting.
Oh, sure it is, honey. All the stores are having after-Christmas sales. Oh, look at that sign. Men's suits cut in half.
That's only good if you have two short fellows. Jane, can we go somewhere and talk? I feel funny. My stomach feels empty, and I think it's gone to my head.
Well, here's the gypsy tea room. Come on, let's drop in and say hello to Professor Kropotkin.
Oh, look! Janie and Irma, my two little sweethearts.
Hello, Professor. My, it's quiet in here.
Yes, we ran out of soup early today. Sit down, girls. Sit down. I'll fix you a nice cup of tea.
Oh, that sounds good.
Tell me, girls, what will you have, lemon or cream with your tea?
Neither. We both take it straight.
Yeah, but you got to put something in it. I know. I'll put in a dash vodka.
Why?
Our tea is so terrible, you got to put something in it to kill the taste.
Oh, Professor.
No, I'll fix it up. I'll be back in a minute.
Gee, I feel better already.
Well, that's good, sweetie. But, Irma, I want you to realize something. You're breaking off with Al, your boyfriend, and it's no fun being without a guy, especially with New Year's coming.
Oh, I won't be alone. I have a new boyfriend.
A new one?
Yes. Melvin Baxter. I'm seeing him tonight. He's fine and upright and ambitious and honest and weighs 178 pounds, saves his money, is healthy and strong, comes from a fine family, and likes dogs.
You know all that? When did you meet him?
Yesterday. Oh, Jane, he's so nice.
Well, what does he do for a living?
Well, he's a mechanical man.
Ball bearing or Dynaflow?
Well, I don't know. He does some kind of work in an airplane factory. Jane, tell me you wish me happiness. I'm so confused.
Honey, not because New Year's is coming, but all year, at any time of the year. I wish you all the happiness anyone could wish anybody.
Oh, Jane, you're the best friend a girl ever had. You couldn't be a better friend if I was a man and you were a dog.
Thanks. Thanks loads.
Well, here is the tea. Oh, Irma, how nice your hair looks. You going out tonight with Al?
No, Professor. Al and I have cut off our relatives.
She means severed relations. Professor Irma has a new boyfriend.
Oh, is that so? Irma, darling, I'm so glad for you. Not that I got anything against Al, but you're too nice a girl to be stalled. Now, Mrs. O'Reilly is different. She looks like she belongs in a stall. But enough with this woman. Irma, my little darling, the old professor's going to play his violin for you to help cheer you up. I'll play something very sentimental.
Isn't that sweet, Irma?
Oh, yes. Professor, why do you play with your eyes closed?
I have to. It isn't easy to play beautiful music and at the same time look at a place like this.
Gee, they played that song the night Al and I had our first date. You know, I can't help thinking of Al. He may have had his faults, but he was always willing to share them with other people. What? He was so big-hearted. I remember the time he took me to the zoo. He bought 2 bags of peanuts, one for me and one for the elephants. He was always kind to dumb animals. And then there was a time he took me out for a Chinese dinner.
Sneaking lychee nuts off a fruit stand is not my idea of a Chinese dinner.
Oh, no, Jane, we went to a restaurant and everything was served in real Chinese style. You know, we both ate from the same bowl.
So cute. That's romantic.
But I didn't get to eat much.
Why not?
Well, Al explained to me that among the native Chinese, the women eat with just one chopstick. Oh, what memories. I hate him.
Well, how did you like that, girls?
Oh, it was wonderful, Professor, and I'm sure it took Irma's mind off of Al. Well, come on, Irma. We better start home so you can get ready for your date tonight. Well, we're back at the apartment, and Irma is really excited about her date with her new boyfriend, Melvin Baxter. I have never seen anyone so anxious to make an impression. She has a plan. She has the book of knowledge in one hand, the dictionary in the other hand, an ice pack on her head, and she's sitting on the hot water bottle. Oh, now I get it. This must be Irma's way of showing Melvin that she is understanding, has a warm heart, and keeps a cool head. Gesundheit. Oh, now she's on another kick. This one I can't figure out. She's sprawled on the sofa with one arm flung to the side, her head loosely hanging over the edge. One foot is propped up on the table. Oh, this beats everything. Irma, I give up. What is this gruesome charade supposed to be?
I'm practicing so when Melvin comes in, I can show him that I'm unattached.
Irma, pick up the pieces. There must be another way.
Oh, Jane, I don't know what to do. Al doesn't even know I'm going to break off with him. I'm so confused. A girl can't have 2 boyfriends because it doesn't look right for a single girl to go out on a double date.
Irma, when you see Al, just be honest.
Who is it?
It's me, chicken. You're loving Al.
Just a minute. Oh, Jane, I don't know how to tell him.
Tell him the truth. You're tired of wasting your time on a man who refuses to work, and from now on, you're playing the field.
All right, I'll let him in.
Hiya, chicken.
Al, I refuse to work, and from now on, I'm playing in the field with a man.
Irma!
Oh, Jane, that's what you told me.
Wait a minute. What's going on here?
Goodbye, kids.
Jane!
You're on your own, honey. Good luck.
Chicken, what's this all about?
Al, You and I are through.
Through? Chicken, what do you mean?
Well, I'll try to explain. Remember that Tarzan of the Apes picture we saw where the lady ape left her ape husband and was carried off by a gorilla and lived happily ever afterwards?
Well, what about it?
Al, I don't want you to be hurt, but I have found another gorilla.
No, Jimmy, she's not throwing Al over for you. Marie Wilson, My Friend Irma, 73 years ago, December 27th, 1948. I'm Wyatt Cox. This is Classic Radio Theater.
Here's a great thing to consider doing right now before the end of the year. Call MediShare and find out just how much you would save by switching to MediShare, the affordable alternative to health insurance. When you call, you'll get some good news and probably be very happily surprised, too. The typical family saves $500 a month, but you might save even more. It's so worth it to at least find out. And you'll see why more than 400,000 people are already members. MediShare is a Christian community that's shared more than $4 billion in each other's healthcare costs. It really is remarkable, and they're very easy to talk to. And here's the thing. If you join before the end of the year, they'll waive your new member fee. That's another $170 you'll save. I'll give you the number here in a second. The call, and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 31st, so call now. You'll save even more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
And you're listening to Classic Radio Theater on this Monday on your favorite station, an episode of My Friend Irma starring Marie Wilson, which was originally broadcast Monday, December 27th, 1948. In the newspapers of that Monday, 73 years ago, these were some of the headlines. Former Undersecretary of State Sumner Welles, top wartime foreign policy framer, found in a field near his Oxton Hill, Maryland estate early yesterday after apparently suffering a heart attack and lying unconscious in the freezing cold all Saturday night. Welles, one of President Roosevelt's closest advisors, was reportedly resting easily last night. His hands and feet were frostbitten, his face scratched, and his clothing frozen to his body. The big ship of the aircraft carrier Saipan racing through the North Atlantic to rescue 13 American airmen marooned atop an ice cap in bleak Greenland, considerably damaged yesterday by a gale and forced to proceed at reduced speed. The Air Force announced in Washington, meantime, bad visibility over the ice cap yesterday blocked another attempt at aerial rescue of the men. Ship's officers minimized the damage. They said that while it was considerable, it was not unusual when a vessel of the Saipan size was buffeting heavy seas at full speed. The President's Council of Economic Advisors yesterday suggested that a new National Labor Management Conference might lead to a fair wage standard as a guide for bargaining and a stabilizer for business. The Council made its third annual report to President Truman. It stressed that such a wage standard could not be binding on unions or employers, nor could it erase the need for federal intervention in national emergency strikes. But it told Truman that the development of a pattern of standards might so brighten the outlook for voluntary settlement that the need for compulsion would be rare indeed. Arab warplanes bombed an area east of Tel Aviv last night. Reports indicated the fighting in the southern desert of the Holy Land was mounting in intensity. For the second night, the Israeli capital and the entire Jewish state underwent a complete blackout. An Israeli military spokesman called the fighting more intense in the Negev, the desert, where the rival forces clashed in the air and on the ground. A member of the Egyptian cabinet told newsmen in Cairo the battle had developed into a general crash. The Dutch government at The Hague gave no indication of intention to comply with the Security Council order of Christmas Eve that hostilities cease in Indonesia. Dutch troops have swept over virtually all of Java and seized most major producing areas of Sumatra in what the Netherlands government calls a police action against extremists. The Chinese nationalist government admitted the loss of Kaigan, an important city 100 miles northwest of Peiping, to the communists. The apparent abandonment of Kaigan stirred new speculation that the nationalists are trying to arrange a truce in the Chinese Civil War. President Truman ate his way through a heaping serving of his second Christmas dinner yesterday after a slippery mile-and-a-half stroll in near-zero weather in Independence, Missouri. He, Mrs. Truman, and their daughter Margaret bundled up for the 18-mile drive over ice-coated roads to Grandview, where they ate turkey and the trimmings with his brother's family. J. Vivian Truman's children and grandchildren gathered around the table with the president, Miss Mary Jane Truman, as another guest. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Monday, December 27th, 1948, on your radio, My Friend Irma, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater.
Remember that Tarzan of the Apes picture we saw where the lady ape left her ape husband and was carried off by a gorilla and lived happily ever afterwards?
Well, what about it?
Al, I don't want you to be hurt, but I have found another gorilla.
Chicken, you can't do this to me. My love is too strong.
Oh, Al, what do you know about love?
Chicken, do you know how deeply I feel toward you?
How?
Like a salmon.
Is that good?
Chicken, do you know why the salmon fights to get upstream? Over treacherous falls, rocks, and raging whirlpools?
Of course, Al. He's anxious to get to the cannery.
No, Chicken. It's love. Blind, relentless love. The same feeling I have for you.
It's too late, Al. We've wasted a lot of time and we're no closer than when we first met. I have to think of my future, so I found a new boyfriend.
Well, Chicken, if that's the way you feel, I guess there's nothing I can do to change it. But if you pick up the morning papers and see my name heading the obituary column, you may be sorry.
No, I won't, Al. I wish you all the fame and fortune you can get.
From 73 years ago, December 27th, 1948, Marie Wilson, My Friend Irma on Classic Radio Theater. Just a reminder that our podcasts have moved. You can find them now over at Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We head out west on Tuesday's Classic Radio Theater, an episode of The Adventures of Red Ryder from 75 years ago, December 28, 1946. $40,000 in stolen gold hidden somewhere on Ghost Mountain. That'll be coming up on our Tuesday Classic Radio Theater, but let's wrap up this comedy with Marie Wilson, My Friend Irma, 73 years ago, December 27th, 1948.
To the apartment. Al had already left, and Irma's eyes were a little red. But she seems to be bearing up quite well. In fact, she's so excited about preparing for Melvin's arrival, she hasn't time to think about Al. The dinner table is set for 3, and the roast looks scrumptious.
Jane?
Yes, sweetie?
Will you please move that footstool over in front of the door while I put this pillow in front of the sofa?
For heaven's sakes, Irma, what for?
Well, when Melvin comes in and trips over the footstool, he'll land on the pillow in front of the sofa where I'll be sitting, and before he can get up from his knees, I'll say, I do.
Be sensible. Besides, he's liable to break his leg and sue us for everything we've got. Don't try any tricks, honey. Just be sweet and alluring.
Alluring? I know. I'll just spray this stuff over the sofa.
Irma Peterson, are you out of your mind? That's my new bottle of 20-carat perfume.
I know, but carats are good for the eyes, and when we're sitting here in the dark, Melvin and I will still be able to see each other.
Look, sweetie, after all, you're an attractive girl. It isn't necessary for you to throw yourself at the man.
Well, you know best, Jane. What should I do?
Well, for one thing, you're too forward. You should be, retiring.
But, Jane, I can't quit my job until after we're married.
Let me put it another way. Honey, you just can't go around wearing your heart on your sleeve.
Oh, I see what you mean, Jane. And I'll try, but Gosh, what if I forget?
Well, in that case, we'll have a little signal. I'll just say your sleeve, and that will mean you're wearing your heart on it. Okay?
Yes, I'll remember.
Fine. Let's see now. Candles are lit on the table. Fresh flowers in the vase. Uh-oh.
What's wrong, Jane?
Al's picture. You'd better get that out of here before Melvin arrives.
Oh, that's right, I know. I'll put Al's picture in the refrigerator.
The refrigerator?
Yes, my girlfriend Amber says a girl should never discard any of her boyfriends completely. She said you should always have one on the ice. Oh, that must be Melvin.
Now, remember, sweetie, don't wear your heart on your sleeve.
Oh, I won't. Come in.
Hello, Miss Irma.
Oh, hello, Melvin. I'd like to have you meet my roommate, Jane Stacy.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Miss Irma's told me so much about you that you seem like an old friend.
Oh, I'm so glad you feel that way, Melvin, because Jane's going to be my bridesmaid when we get married.
Irma.
No, Jane, I didn't mean us. I meant Melvin and I.
Irma tells me you're in the aviation line. It must be fascinating work.
Yes, I find it so. There are many things necessary to ensure the proper takeoff of the plane. For instance, they must head into the wind. That's where I stand.
Gee, that's dangerous. Do you ever get hit?
Dear me, no. I'm in charge of the wind tunnel. Every plane must be tested before we send it into the air. It's quite a responsibility.
Yes, I imagine.
Let me show you this watch. It was presented to me by the president of our company. Go ahead. Read the inscription on the back of it.
Well, let's see. In appreciation for 10 years of faithful, unswerving, steady wind.
Gosh, Melvin, you must be tired.
No, I have two tremendous fans.
Oh, Jane, isn't he wonderful? He dances, too.
Irma, dear, don't you think it's time we serve dinner?
Oh, yes, I hope you like my cooking, Melvin, because that's the way to a man's stomach.
Irma, your sleeve.
Oh, no, not through the sleeve. That's the long way.
Am I missing something?
No. Just sit down and eat.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't stay for dinner. I meant to tell you sooner, but when I get started talking about my work, I forget everything else. I hope you'll forgive me.
Oh, Melvin.
Well, they're depending on me to be there. I have to test the straining point of a new cross-rib construction on the wingtips.
Oh, we're having spare ribs and asparagus tips. Would that help?
No, but the test will only take about an hour. If it's all right with you, I'd love to come back.
Goodbye. Jane.
Yes, sweetie?
What do you think of him?
The, Wind King?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Come in.
Hello, girls.
Oh, sit down, Miss O'Reilly.
Oh, thank you, Irma, darling. I just had to take a peek at your new boyfriend. It's me woman's curiosity.
Excuse me, Mrs. O'Reilly, you are blocking the driveway.
Oh, it's you, Professor. Where did you come from?
Well, while you were watching from behind the staircase, I was peeking from the broom closet.
The broom closet?
Yes, and if the rent isn't any higher, I'd like to exchange it for the room I live in. The broom closet's so much roomier.
Oh, Professor, you're always complaining.
Oh, Mrs. O'Reilly and Professor, you haven't told me how you like my new boyfriend.
Irma, darling, he looks like a very nice fella, but it's hard to tell a book by its cover. Take the cashier we used to have at the Gypsy Tea Room. Outwardly, he had all the appearances of a perfect gentleman. He was polite, kind, courteous, but we were all very much disappointed in him.
Why?
When he robbed the safe, he didn't even leave us a thank you note.
Don't mind the Professor, Irma. I saw your boyfriend and he looks like a fine lad. Reminds me of a boy I went to school with, Bill. He was very fond of me. We were always seen together. Oh, we were inseparable.
He became quite a fella, that Buffalo Bill.
Now see here, you old fiddle
No,
straight
hold it, Mrs. O'Reilly, hold it. Don't get mad at me. Remember, I'm taking you to a movie tonight. You've got the passes. Come on, my little mountain.
How dare
you? You didn't let me finish. Come on, my little mountain goat. Goodbye, girls.
Gosh, Jane. I wish Melvin had stayed for dinner.
Oh, that Melvin, Irma, you really picked a winner. Well, come on, let's eat before everything spoils.
Guess you're right. As they say, to the victor belongs the spoils.
Well, sweetie, that was a wonderful dinner you cooked. Wasn't it nice just the two of us being here alone? Now, you didn't miss Al, did you?
No.
Irma, you're sniffling.
That's because I'm expecting to peel onions later in the evening. Oh, I'll get it, Jane. Yes?
A telegram from Miss Peterson, 240, collect.
Oh, here you are. Keep the change.
Thanks.
Who is it, Irma?
It's a telegram, Jane.
A telegram?
It's for me, collect.
Oh, collect. Well, what does Al have to say?
Well, I'll read it. Let's see. Dear Irma, as I stand here in the unemployment line with no one to urge me on, I get the feeling all my success is in vain. So since you have cast me aside, it leaves me with one alternative. And therefore I'm going to jump off the Hoboken Pier. The night watchman is a very dear friend of mine, and he will give me permission. I will wait until 11:30 before taking the fatal leap. Signed, Harry.
That's hurry.
Jane. Well, Jane, what shall I do?
Forget it, honey. The only time Al ever jumped was when someone offered him a job. Hold it, sweetie. Hello?
Hello, Jane. This is Al. Would like to talk with Chicken.
It's for you, honey. Johnny Weissmuller.
Hello?
Hello, Chicken. How long do you think a guy can wait on this pier? You want me to catch pneumonia?
Oh, it's you, Al. Well, what I said still goes.
Aw, Chicken, have a heart. You can't do this to me.
Why can't I?
Because my heart is broken. I can't live without you. And besides, they charged me 25 cents to get on the pier.
No, Al, we're through.
In that case, Chicken, will you grant me one last request?
What is it, Al?
Can I reverse the charges?
Sorry, wrong number. Goodbye.
Well, that's the way I like to hear you talk, honey. You can afford to be independent now. Melvin will be back soon, and you'll have a lovely time with him. Come in.
Hello, Miss Stacy. Hello, Miss Irma.
Oh, hello, Melvin. Did you finish the test?
Oh, yes. Everything was quite satisfactory.
Well, we could still make a late movie if you'd like.
Good idea.
I know one I think you'd like. I saw it in the movie section. It's just been released again. Gone with the Wind.
Wonderful. Gone with... Great Scott!
Melvin, what's wrong?
I forgot to shut the wind off in Tunnel 3. Oh, you must excuse me, but we'll date some other day. My job comes first.
Jane, I had one boyfriend who never worked, and I've got one who works all the time.
Well, it's a tough break, honey, but I'm sure it'll work out. Irma, who are you writing to?
The Lonely Hearts Club. How does this sound? Attractive girl, blonde, 23 years old, wishes to meet personable young man who works part-time.
Quite a problem. She's given one man the air, and all she gets from the other man is wind. How However, she seems to be taking it all in stride. Right now, she's arranging the photographs of each of the men in her life. Melvin's picture is on the mantelpiece. And Al's picture she's put on top of an old broken radio we have in the closet. Irma?
Yes, Jane?
What's the idea of putting Al's picture on that radio?
Well, because they seem to match, neither one of them works.
And you know, it frightens me every time I think there might be a little sense in the mind of my friend Irma.
My Friend Irma is produced and directed by Cy Howard and stars Marie Wilson as Irma with Joan Banks as Jane. Mark Levy writes the script with Stanley Adams and Roland McLean, and it's brought to you by Pepsodent Toothpaste with Irium, another fine product of Lever Brothers Company. The part of Al was played by John Brown. Hans Conried is Professor Kropotkin, and Gloria Gordon was heard as Mrs. O'Reilly. Music was under the direction of Led Gluskin. This is Wendell Niles speaking.
December 27th, 1948, My Friend Irma on Classic Radio Theater. Many of our My Friend Irma shows came through our friend Ted over at radiomemories.com. Stop by and see Ted. You can get radio programs from him, all sorts. Just look through all the lists, but including My Friend Irma, you can get them on compact disc, you can get them on cassette tape, or on flash drive for your computer. Radiomemories.com. Please thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream. There you can learn more about classic radio collecting. You can contact me there. And you can also hear our shows on demand, classicradio.stream. If you miss a day, you do not have to miss a single show. You can also find our shows anywhere podcasts are served. Just search for USA Classic Radio Theater, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Spreaker. USA Classic Radio Theater. Have yourself a great week ahead. I'm Wyatt Cox. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite radio station.